Now, the next thing we're going to look at is there are typical scribal errors, and there are a lot of them. I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. One of them is haplography, which means written only once. A word appears twice, but the scribe skips to the second one. So this is actually not a biblical text, but something I just made up to illustrate how this could happen. Let's say we're reading along and it says, "Then Paul arrived in the city of Corinth. Antipholus said, 'Welcome to Corinth.' 'We must preach the gospel here,' said Paul." And now I'm copying this. And so what happens is I look down and I write, "Thus Paul arrived in the city of Corinth." And then I look over to my copy and I'm writing there. And I look back to the original and I see the second word Corinth. And I think it's the first one. So as a result, the second sentence gets skipped. And the result is we must preach, then Paul arrived in the city of Corinth. "We must preach the gospel here," said Paul. And the line about Antipholus welcoming him to Corinth disappears because when I looked back to the original, I saw the word Corinth and I thought it was the word I just wrote. And I went on from there. So this is a very typical, obvious, natural, normal thing that will happen when you're copying a lot of words by hand. Called haplography. A word gets written only once. And then the opposite of that is dittography, which means written twice. So let's start with the same scenario. "Then Paul arrived in the city of Corinth, and Antipholus said, 'Welcome to Corinth.'" Okay, now, when I look back from my copy to the original, I forget that I've already written the word Corinth, and I write it again. "Then Paul arrived in the city of Corinth." Corinth, of all places. Antipholus said. So the word that's only supposed to be there once ends up being there twice because of an obvious natural mistake. Now, these are two examples. There's lots of other ones that experts in this field go by. And so when you're examining two possible readings, one of the things you do is look and say, okay, does one of these readings explain the other one? In other words, can I see how the second reading got created?